Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. In today's guitar lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play That's Entertainment by The Jam. Now if you head to the first link in the description, there's a full 6-page PDF that you can download for free. I'm going to really heavily reference this in this lesson and I advise you go get it. It won't cost you anything, you don't have to sign up for anything. Head over to the website and grab it because I've got two versions. I've got a slightly easier version to have a look at and then what's actually happening on the record with the proper rhythm. So I'd advise you go and get that. If you like the way that I teach, I'd urge you to check out the second link in the description for the Kirklees Guitar School Academy. The Kirklees Guitar School Academy is my membership platform where every lesson I deliver here on YouTube, Academy members get access to extra resources such as a technical focus lesson that's song specific and a full guided playthrough with scrolling tabs. There's also over 100 other lessons and courses available there that aren't available anywhere else, so you can try that with a 14-day free trial from the second link in the description. Right, so what are we up against today? Now, this song's caused a lot of confusion for a lot of guitarists studying at home, and I'm hoping to untangle a little bit of that today. Now, I'm using a capo on the 3rd fret because I feel like it's a lot easier to get this under your fingers, and personally, when I'm playing this in bands, I'm going to play it with a capo on the 3rd fret. You'll see on the music video or any kind of live clips of Weller playing it, he will... He'll use bar chords. Now, I feel like this is, if you're able to play bar chords, make these chords fit with the same strumming pattern and it will be just fine, okay? I'm going to show you in fact, let me put these chords on the screen while I'm waffling. I'm going to show you a slightly easier version, which gives the sort of fundamentals of the strumming pattern, and then I'm going to teach you a more advanced version. If you check out the downloadable PDF, the first 3 pages are the easy version. Pages 4, 5 and 6 are the harder version. So just pick out of this whatever you need. Now initially we're going to start with the G chord, E minor, A minor and F major 7. Now he's strictly using the F bar chord on the record. Whenever I play acoustic guitar and I can get away with it, I'm going to play F major 7 because it sounds lovely. So it's up to you what you do with that. But for this lesson, I'm going to be using F major 7. Now the whole song revolves around 2 alternate strumming patterns that happen every other bar. So initially, bearing in mind, we're going to be missing we're going to miss that. I call that a flick, that. If that's what you're specifically looking for, check out the chapters on this video. We are going to get there, but we need to learn the foundation first. So stick with me and you'll have a better understanding of it. So with this G chord, I'm going to play it down, down, up, up, down. Really bog standard strumming pattern, nothing to write home about. We're then going to change to E minor and go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now what I've tried to do here on the original recording, it's 2 guitars laid on top of each other and one of them's doing a bit more like this and the other one's doing straight quavers like this. I've tried to, as the sort of only guitarist on the gig type concept, I've tried to give you both cool bits by doing this, okay? So pause the video. Get that on your fingers. Now, the whole intro looks like this. So you can see these 2 bars up here is what we've just played. We're going to go G, E minor, G, E minor, A minor, F major 7, G, E minor. Now this pattern only happens in the intro. It doesn't come back again, but can you see how every other bar, if you call this pattern A, strumming pattern A, and this strumming pattern B, it goes A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. And this happens for the entire song. Let me play you what's on screen. A minor, F major 7, Now, if you really dissect Paul Weller's guitar playing in this, if you really dissect it, you'll notice that sometimes he veers off the pattern a little bit, and that's just because the recording of that song is definitely a magic moment that were caught to tape, and I felt like if they'd done it again, they maybe had not got the same kind of vibe of the song. He's really kicking the crap out of that guitar. So occasionally you might hear him put an extra upstroke in or lose one here or there, and it just kind of gets lost in the enthusiasm of it. Now, if you stick to these two patterns, even if you do veer off course for the odd bar, I won't tell anybody if you don't. So what I'd like you to do, if you can for me please, I'd like you to pause the video and practice that for me. If you're happy with that, we're going to talk about the verses and the choruses for this song. Now, the structure for the song is basically verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus all the way through. I'm going to take you through the structure in the PDF in a second. But the verse is basically G to E minor. Screaming siren, pneumatic drill and a top concrete, baby wailing straight up howling, da-da-da-da-da, lamplight blinking. So basically, when he's telling the story or sort of setting the scene, we're going E minor to G. Pause the video, have a go at that for me. There's 6 verses in this song, so you're going to be playing a lot of G to E minor. Okay? If you're okay with that, we'll go into the chorus, which is that's entertainment, that's entertainment G. Now, whenever he says that's entertainment, we'll go into the A minor, F, and it'll do that twice, and resolve to G. Now, sometimes that G to E minor at the bottom of this, slide, can sometimes it'll do G E minor, sometimes it'll do G E G E. It all depends where you are in the song, and that's kind of why we've got so many repeat markers. Now, if you take the first 3 pages of the PDF, you'll see that you've got the intro, followed by what's labelled verse 1 and verse 3. Now you'll notice there's a funny looking bracket there. That's called a repeat marker. So what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to get a highlighter and highlight that bracket, because you're going to have to come back to it. You're going to play verse 1 and then the first chorus, which will take you up to the end of the first page. Verse 2 starts, and then the second chorus after that. After that second chorus, you'll notice there's the reciprocal repeat marker, right? So from there, the bit that you highlighted on page 1, you go all the way back up there and play verse 3, chorus, verse 4, chorus. On the second half of the second page, you'll go into the instrumental section, which is, it's more or less like the intro, G, E minor, A minor and F, followed by verse 5, the chorus at the top of the third page, followed by verse 6, and then a chorus, and then the ending. If you've got the first 2 bits of this song, you literally should be able to sight read the rest of it. Now, the record is very fast. I think it's 142 BPM, if memory serves me correctly, which is, it's no slouch, it's quick. So what I'd advise you do is, either use the playthrough that I provided in the Academy, which I have done playthroughs for both the easy and the advanced versions, for those of you that are Academy members, and you can see up close exactly with the scrolling tabs exactly when I'm doing it and where. But I'd urge you to probably try this at maybe 70-80% speed first, and then sort of gradually bring it up. But if you're feeling tension in your elbow while you're strumming this, it's too fast for you, and you need to dial it back a little bit, because the only way you can get this kind of he says, in my wrist, you kind of, it's not just moving the elbow, you kind of, I'm sort of, and you have to have you have to be kind of loosey-goosey to some extent to get that. So that's the easy version. What I'd recommend, if you're new to this song, get the easier version under your fingers first, then we'll look at what we're going to do now. Now, pages 4, 5 and 6 for this, It's based on the same document. All I've done is changed the crotchets and quavers in it. The rhythms have changed ever so slightly because I've had to again, we're mixing two guitar parts to sort of make the best of both, if we can. Now, how I'd practice this, the first two bars is again it's strumming pattern A and strumming pattern B. What I want you to take from this is I want you to be able to strum along with the song and then take away this harder strumming pattern and work on it as its own thing for the next couple of weeks and eventually learn to fold it into the song. That's how people who come to see me here at Kirklees Guitar School, that's the way we've been learning this over the past couple of weeks. So the chords are the same, apart from we've got this G6 chord here. Now, we like G6 chords because you just don't press anything. A G6 chord is just the open strings on the guitar. Now, you can play it in a couple of other ways, but this is a really common thing in acoustic guitar playing. John Lennon, I think, was the first person I heard do it, where you could be strumming, you could do an upstroke on the last bit of the bar, the and of 4, and use that time to get to another chord. Can you see how I'm letting go and doing an upstroke of the open strings of the guitar and giving myself time to move? Now, slowed down, it sounds a bit naff, but if you can fold it into a couple of chords, it sounds really. It adds a lot of punctuation. It's good. It's a breath of fresh air. So all the other chords are the same, still using the capo. It's literally just what the picking hand's doing that's different. So this is the pattern that we're going to try and get under his fingers. Now, I'm going to teach you this in a couple of stages. So again, be patient and all shall be revealed. We're going to save this and come back to it in a second. What I'd like to do is I'd like to have a look at this bit first, this intro around this G chord. Now, the pattern is changing ever so slightly, and you'll see why once it all kind of folds together. Now, what we're going to do here, rather than doing down, down, up, up, down, like we did in the prior version, we're going to go down, 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 up, down, up. But notice how this G6 chord is on the last quaver of the bar. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Let me play that for you. Try that at home. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Down, 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 up, down, up. Pause the video and get that on your fingers. This is the first bit of the pattern. So this replaces pattern A from the prior version. And if I speed it up, it's got a bit more energy. It sounds like it's got a little bit more about it. Now, the reciprocal pattern is still down, up, down, up, down, up, but we're going to put an extra note on the end into what we call semiquavers. Now, the technical focus lesson for this, I talk about semiquavers a lot more, but basically a semiquaver, in the hierarchy of notes, you've got a crotchet that lasts for 1 beat, you've got a quaver, which lasts for half a beat, and then you've got a semiquaver, which lasts for a quarter of a beat. Now, a crotchet is quite pedestrian, quite slow. A quaver is fast. A semiquaver is very fast. Now, what we're doing is at the end of the bar, I'd like you to do what I call a flick. Quick down and an up. So you're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. You hear how this fella is just put in, and it's going to feel a bit alien at first. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, you might see on the playthrough I actually let go of that E minor prematurely to get back to the chord. as well. Because E minor, the sort of top three strings, the B, the G, the B and the high E strings are all notes within the E minor chord. It doesn't warrant me putting that, it doesn't warrant me putting a G6 chord there because it's technically it's still E minor. Now if you fold those two together, he says, yeah, we'll come in here, we're talking about this next, be patient. I want you to practice folding these two together. And it's one of those, like, it's going to sound, when you play it slowly, it's going to sound nothing like the song, but if you persevere with it and keep going, at some point the scales are going to tip and you'll be like, oh, actually that sounds really good and I'm glad I persevered. Now basically what's happening here, I want you to think of this as like a pickup note. And what that means is we're just going to do like a quick flurry of notes to get us going into the pattern. After you've played this initially, you will never have to play it again. Now, in bands and in the sort of workshops that we do here at the school where we put students into bands, when we play this in the bands, I'll actually play the first two bars of the song, and then you'll notice the bass guitar and the other guitar on the record comes in, and I get the rest of the band to come in there, because this is quite hard to count yourself in, because you're going to rest on beat 1, 2, 3, and then on beat 4. But then you've got the last two semiquavers. Now we count semiquavers 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Now how I'd count myself in is I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4 and. And it's literally just a quick flick of the wrist before the pattern starts. Don't let the first, arguably the first two notes, but the quickest two notes in the piece ruin. Don't let half a beat ruin the rest of the song for you, okay? Because chances are, if you're playing this with the record anyway, you can hear somebody tapping the foot, counting each other in, if you really turn the record up. But chances are, you're going to struggle to count yourself into this anyway, unless you use the playthrough on the Academy. So, just a really quick down and an up before the pattern starts. Now, this continues through the F chord, the G6, the A minor and the F chord, the G6's return. This is pattern A, this is pattern B. Now, I'd be inclined to maybe, this G6, to maybe include the one before it as well. It just might give you that little bit extra time coming out of there, but there's no rules with this stuff because it's all as you develop as a rhythm guitarist, it'll start to make a lot more sense from you. Now, just as before, I'm not going to score the whole song out for you because you can go and download it for free. Remember to head to the first link in the description to grab that. I would it's just a sight reading exercise from there. Just as before with the prior version, you're going to play a strumming pattern A, strumming pattern B, and you're just going to go A, B, A, B throughout the entire song. So I don't really know a lot about the Jam. I obviously know all the hits, but I've been listening to them quite a bit this week, and I'm enjoying it. So if you think there's another Jam one you'd like me to do a lesson on, let me know in the comments down below. Remember to head to the second link in the description. If you need a little bit of extra help with this lesson and you like the way that I teach, check out the Kirklees Guitar School Academy with a 14-day free trial, and you can have you've full access to absolutely everything that I've done over there. As always, I'll see you next Friday for another guitar lesson. Thank you very much for watching.